Welcome to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Wes the Economist and Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist, coming to you live from the Wave Beach Realty Studios in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Call us today at 843-957-3872.
All right, guys, welcome back into the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Wes the Economist. I am Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist. We are back with Season 3, Episode 8, and we've got a lot to talk about today. The world is falling apart. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I got a black spot right there. I was like, where'd that come from? His flag's turned over. You never say anything about my flags. I got all my fishing flags up, along with all my other stuff.
I like that I like everything you have in the background. You look more official than my blue wall. That's
it looks kind of messy. I got to get it a little better straightened out. All of our podcast, my podcast. I have another pigeon podcast, so everything's a little bit. My book's back there, so. And yeah, a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But speaking about everything, today's going to be kind of one of those episodes. There's so much going on. Good gracious. How do you keep up?
I can't keep up with it. I try to listen to a couple different podcasts that just kind of give me news updates and stuff. And it's just, and there's so many updates coming out constantly of all the stuff going on with this Iran conflict and all around the world. And I just can't, it's so much news. I'd have to literally listen to it full time to get the full scope of everything. It's crazy.
But I see it, and I talk to people all the time who look at it less than me that know more than I know about it. It's always funny how people tell you, "Oh, this is how it really is." I'm like, well, did you see this happen? No. Did you know he said this? No. but yes, you're an expert. I'm not an expert, and I listen to it way too much.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's just constant information. I mean, there's a new update. If I look up like current news if I refresh it on Google every 20 minutes, there's something new that's happening. You won't run out of. I mean, you could sit all day and look at what's going on, but
and we don't get down into the news past the headlines. There's so much going on that the world just doesn't know about because nobody reports on it.
Right. So, I mean, what everybody has heard is, we issued a ceasefire. As far as the news is concerned, all I heard was that Israel continued to bomb Lebanon. That I didn't hear anything else about what was going on with the ceasefire, except Israel was breaking it. If you listen to the news, and so that's where I left off yesterday with updates. And I as of today, I don't know what. I know they're still in negotiations, but I don't know how much closer we are to a legitimate ceasefire than we were, yesterday or the day before. But I know you've been staying on top of it. So what are you?
Well, I don't have time to stay on top of it because I have a life too. But everybody got on Israel for bombing Lebanon. But the same day that was going on, Iran was attacking 4 or 5 different countries around them. They were not attacking the U.S. The U.S. quote-unquote ceasefire was going on, which, Trump then says, well, Israel wasn't a part of the deal. We're not making deals for Israel. But, then this, Pakistani leader said, yeah, they were supposed to be. And this, somebody described it this well. I don't know which commentator I was listening to, but it's like it trying to explain something in a, even a 5-minute video or something that literally has thousands of parties mixed up in it. I mean, in Iran, Iran itself, everybody kind of thinks, well, they have this leadership that's controlling everything. No, they don't. They have like probably 3 or 4 or 5 different sections of quote unquote leaders trying to take control. So who are we negotiating with? Are we negotiating with the right ones? Right. One thing I heard yesterday was most likely the heads of the Islamic Republican Guard Corps, they're probably the ones that are still in charge of the military, and they probably don't want peace at all.
Right.
So, what do you do?
I don't know. It's just crazy right now. I feel like now we're just in full-on war, and I don't see this being any short conflict that's going to have any resolution anytime soon, because this has been an ongoing thing for a very long time. This isn't anything new.
I think it'll be. I think the Strait of Hormuz will be the key. I think Trump's kind of done in Iran. I think if it wasn't for the Straits, he'd be pulled out already.
Yeah,
because he's pretty much devastated their capabilities of doing anything at this point. They have no military left. I mean, they do have these these hidden, well, I mean, I say hidden, probably mobile missile launchers, and they still have drones they can use, but you can see they don't have much control over them.
Right.
And going back to those attacks I was talking about, they were attacking water plants, power plants. I could have swore before Trump was, Trump was talking about, the timeline he was going to wipe out civilization. They were talking about war crimes. Well, wouldn't that be war crimes against Iran then? If they're
Yeah.
taking out infrastructure like that of people who are
Right.
not attacking them? But you don't hear about that anywhere. It drives me freaking crazy. The hypocrisy across the board is just blows my mind.
So why do you think? Because that's all I see in the news is like, and just hearing people on social media and everything. I mean, it's the amount of people that are just only blaming Israel for everything. I just keep seeing that rise. What is, because you've even got, people like Tucker Carlson, and I know we talked about this off the air a little bit, who are just kind of going off the rails with this and blaming
Yeah.
Israel for pretty much everything. Why is that happening, and what is the validity to that? Is there any truth in that? Like, what's really going on there?
Well, back up a minute. Trump went after those four. I mean, he put
Yeah.
them in. He put the other three in with Alex Jones. Who's it? Candace Owens, Megan Kelly, and Tucker. And then he goes Alex Jones. I'm like, okay, that was on purpose. He
Yeah.
tried to time to Alex for a reason.
Yeah.
Which I don't listen to Alex, and he's just too over the top for me. I've heard a couple of clips here and there. But reading what he said in the past and what's come true, he's not off on a lot of things. He's just off on some big things he shouldn't have been.
Right.
If he hadn't been off on those big things that he shouldn't have been, like Sandy Hook,
Yeah, that was a bad one.
it was really bad. I mean, he lost his empire over it. I guess he's gotten it back by now. But the whole thing is, if he'd just been more moderate and not go over the top, he probably would have been fine. But I guess that's it. You're trying to get. Well, I guess he wasn't trying to get clicks. He was trying to get views. But I think that's what the other three are doing now, trying to get clicks.
Yeah.
And this rise of anti-Semitism is coming out of that group. I mean, the idea that you think there's one small race controlling the world is just crazy, especially if you study world history, because this is a Western civilization type thing tied into the Middle East a little bit, because Israel's based in the Middle East. But you go into the Far East, and there are races that are like Jewish people over there. And I wished I had the book in front of me. One of the books I read, a sociology book, compared the Jewish people to like 2 or 3 other races around the world that had the same thing happen to them through history. And what I'm talking about is getting blamed for everything through history.
Mm-hmm.
The Jews were blamed for the bubonic plague. If you go back in history, actually I pulled it up in case we got on this subject, but if you go back in history, and let's see, Black Death persecutions, 1348 to 1351, the plague hit Europe. Jews faced false accusation of causing the disease. Why? Because they were not getting sick. So, okay, I get it. Back then, you're like, okay, well, these people don't get sick. It's all their fault. They're doing this to us.
Right.
But even by that time, though, if I just go back in the history, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different times that the Jewish people were attacked in Western civilization for being Jewish.
Yeah.
That goes all the way back to the biblical account of the enslavement in Egypt and then the Babylonian exile. But it continued right on. But there's these other races that are kind of blamed for the same thing. But you don't hear about it on world stage because we don't hear world history. We hear Western civilization history. But the Jewish people have always been targeted. And for a lot of people, if you go back like during the Crusades, when we're going on Crusades, they literally went through and tried to wipe out the Jews on the way. And when you think about it from an economic point of view, something about the Jewish people is a lot of them are very hard workers. They build up wealth pretty quickly. And so if you're going to attack somebody, why not attack the people who own the land and own your debt first?
Right.
And that's usually, if you look from an economic point of view, that's usually why they get attacked. Now, obviously, Hitler was just deranged, but they're always being blamed for stuff, and I just see that happening again right now. We're trying this narrative that's gone through millennia that people just look at the Jewish people as this race that causes everything, where logically it just can't happen.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's all I hear about though. It's more and more noticeable that people are just blaming them for everything. I mean, there was somebody I was listening to that was Lebanese that was just talking about how bad they were and how they were committing all these atrocities. But I just you don't hear anything from the other side of it. It's just they're doing all this
Well,
bad stuff. They shouldn't be doing this, and it's all the Jews.
well, see,
That's all I
but
hear.
can you agree with that without hating the Jewish race? I mean, I don't trust Netanyahu a bit. I wouldn't. I think he's the epitome of evil, and the stuff that Mossad does. If any of it's true that I read, that's a pretty. You think the CIA's bad? Oh my
Right.
gracious! So why is it that we can't separate out the government from the people? Just because the government is doing some bad things doesn't mean the whole race is evil. And at the same time, you got to look at. Okay, so I don't like Netanyahu, but he is the leader of Israel. Does he need to act in our best interest? Does he need to act in Iraq's best interest? I mean, he's acting what he thinks is Israel's best interest, which I think also comes with some power play. But that doesn't make the whole race the supreme people that are controlling everything.
Right. Yeah,
That just blows my
that's
mind.
the narrative, though.
Even in Hollywood, you hear that the Jewish people control all the movies, they control all the money, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's because some top people are Jewish. That isn't. We call that a fallacy of composition.
Yeah.
Or causation is not always same thing as correlation.
Yeah.
But people don't have the critical thinking skills to think through it. And they just jump to these easy conclusions, and it's a black and white world. Just like I was talking about in Iran, we don't know who we're dealing with. There's so many different fractions that all have a different end goal that are trying to negotiate. Same thing goes on in Israel. Same thing goes on here. I mean, we have all these different political parties, political people trying to accomplish their goals that some of them may think are best for the U.S., some of them think are best for themselves. And it's just not some easy way. It's like when we talk about the left, we kid about the left and how they can they'll advocate for A, but they also advocate for B, and they seem to be against each other. Well, it's just because some people on the left do advocate for A, some advocate for B. They may not agree with each other, but we would just put them in all in one lump sum and say, well, how can you be for abortion but not for capital punishment?
Right.
And obviously, there's some people that are like that, but it just blows my mind. Anyway, sorry, I get on these rants.
No, you're fine. It's just crazy to see it, and I like see all this stuff in the news, and I just don't know what to believe. I'm like, what is really going on? What's the truth? What are we really doing? It's so hard to decipher all of it because there's so much mess out there now. I mean, so from what you know about the conflict in general, I mean, I know you were saying you thought we would be out of there if it wasn't for the Strait being tied up. Well, I mean, how long do you think this goes on? What do you think the end goal is here? What do we got to look forward to in the next few months?
Obviously, I'm not the person to ask. An economist is looking at things through economic stuff, which for this one is big because I think the problem right now is the Straits of Hormuz. And sorry, that reminded me of the video. Have you seen the video of the guy going out talking to, I think it was a No Kings protest about the Straits of Hormuz? He goes out and he's talking to these people, and he's like, we keep talking about the Straits of Hormuz. Shouldn't we be worried about the gays of Hormuz too? And literally, these protesters were like, yeah, we should take care. Literally, the knowledge of these people is crazy. But anyway, it just brought that in mind. But just so you can take a look at it, let's see if I can share this. Here is a picture, a live shot of what's going on in the Straits of Hormuz. Here's Europe, here's Africa. What you're seeing on those dots, the red are tankers and the green are container ships. So if we zoom down, Oman, and this is Oman, this is Iraq, and then you have Saudi Arabia, United Emirates, Saudi Arabia. But this right here is the Straits of Hormuz, and you can see it's cleared out.
Yeah.
And since we started looking about 30 minutes ago, you can see some of these ships have actually moved on into here. They're supposed to come over here and pay a toll, I think, and then come on out. And that toll is millions of dollars.
Wow.
So, but right now it's pretty bare. And that's where, what was it, 20% of the oil comes through or something like that?
Yeah.
again, I, even though it's hurting us, I would hazard a guess it's hurting another big country even worse. You want to take a guess who that is?
Well, it's either China or Russia. That,
China.
yeah,
And that's why China has been pushing for this ceasefire.
right.
In the background, China has been working on trying to get the ceasefire together. But honestly, I think if this was not going on, I think we'd be through in Iran.
Mm,
I think we'd walk away. I could be wrong, or be close, at least be wrapping up. I think this problem propped up, which they had to foresee. I mean, this has been talked about for decades that this strait controls the world. And it
yeah.
literally, I think it's shown Iran what kind of power it has by blocking it. But I don't see how them firing on these other countries is helping their position any.
Yeah, I don't understand that tactic either, to be honest with you. So why do we have to use like obviously that strait goes into another body of water that goes into back to these countries. What there's no other routes to move oil other than
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I think some. I mean, I believe some comes out of the. Oh, what is it? Let's come back out. Let's come back over here and look at this again. You remember how to use my computer this morning? So you got the straits. You also have the Red Sea, which you can see a
Uh-huh.
lot of oil is coming through here.
Yeah.
But zooming out again, I mean, from my understanding, I could be wrong. A lot of the oil is up in here. So
Okay.
you'd have to come across the land to the Red Sea. That's going to be very expensive, but it all can be dumped right here into the Persian Gulf. But look how many countries and look how many entities you have around there. Saudi Arabia, one of the biggest ones. Most of their stuff's going to have to come out that way, even though some could come out the other way. But over the years, the infrastructure is built up where this is the primary target.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It really is. I mean, it's
Is the majority of oil coming out of Iran right there? Like through Iran itself?
well, that's just it. It has to all the oil has to come through that strait, coming
Yeah.
out of that region. So if
But
it's going to
where's a
come
lot
out
of it drilled? What countries is it drilled in the most?
Saudi Arabia,
Okay.
Iran has it, Iraq obviously has it, United Emirates, Yemen. I mean, all these countries are rich in oil. I
Okay.
don't know the. I can actually call it up here though. Let's see if I can. Tell me, did that switch screens? Are you still looking at the?
Yep. Yeah, I see a new screen now.
When life gets unpredictable, turn to a partner you can trust. At Bobby Clary State Farm, we've got you covered. Whether it's home, auto, or life insurance, we're dedicated to providing personalized coverage that fits your needs. With our friendly and knowledgeable team, navigating your insurance options have never been easier. Visit bobbyclary.com or call 843-438-6000. Bobby Clary State Farm, here to help life go right.
All right. Well, now it's officially time to introduce my book, Econ Sense, Economics for Everyday Living. You can actually find it by going to my website, econsense.us. If you go there, you'll see there are links to Amazon where you can pick it up, just a paperback, or if you'd rather have the ebook, you can go to Innovative Publishing and care of Kendall Hunt Publishing Company, where you can get the print or ebook. And while you're on that website, you can also check out my other podcast, Econ Sense. Which I have several different series that go by. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. Email me at west.the.economist@gmail.com, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks for listening to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist and Wes the Economist. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and X at DollarsCentsGS and on Facebook at Dollars and Cents.
Well, the AI says but 10% of U.S. oil. I don't care about the U.S. I want to know the rest of them. Yes, this is it. Flowing data. I like data. See, that's just showing you where it's going to.
Yeah.
But you can see Greece share. This is just share of their energy they import. But you
Right.
can see when the U.S. is not even on that list from this one.
Neither is China.
Yeah, that's a good point. What if it's other countries here I can't see?
Interesting.
Let's see. That's just Iranian country. That's interesting. It goes backwards just like the writing does. This is just showing imports.
Yeah.
And obviously, I can't read Arabic, so I don't know what
Right.
or Farsi, whatever that's talking about. Yeah, it was maybe this trading economics. Should have went economics to begin with. Yeah, I'll have to sit down and decipher some of this. It's not giving me just numbers off the top. Yeah, I'll have to go and look. But if we look at OPEC itself, which surprised my classes now don't know what OPEC is. Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Member countries overview. So here's a list of the countries. So you've got Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Libya, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, United Emirates. So most of them are in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Even Venezuela is in this cartel. But these are the ones controlling. I mean, they literally meet to set output, which controls the world price. And they've lost some of that power. So that's another issue we're dealing with. Is since they don't have the power they used to, there's other things being done.
Right.
Anyway, like you said, it's a huge, complex issue. And I mean, all the stuff we've talked about plays into it, and we haven't even touched the top of. I mean, we're just at the top of the iceberg. We haven't touched most of the topics of everything else that's happening. All these small countries around them, what they need out of this, what they want. It is surprising to me how many have supported this action, because before they would not stand up against Iran, and then when this all started, you saw a lot of them writing letters. Of course, they still hadn't pledged any resources, but and what was it? United Arab Emirates shot down one of our planes, beginning of the war.
Yeah.
Excuse me, conflict. It's not a war.
Yeah, right. Conflict. Yeah, be careful.
I love the way people frame stuff. It reminds me of the insurrection. I noticed right after January 6th that the Democrats are using the word insurrection. And so I jumped on it right then to see, okay, what's going on? Why they say it wasn't insurrection? It wasn't even close to insurrection. What insurrection in history ever started without guns? I mean, come on.
Right. Yeah.
But then it came pretty clear very quickly, if you would just do a little bit of studying, they needed to frame it that way because the Constitution allows for prosecution of insurrectionists.
Yeah, right, of course. Yeah.
But the mainstream media just jumped on. It's insurrection. Give me some proof it's insurrection. It was not an insurrection.
Right.
But now what is in the United States, when you ask about January 6th, what does the majority of people think? Oh, that was today's insurrection.
Yeah.
And so many people say that to me, and I'll say, well, that's a really wild first insurrection history without any guns. Oh, well, there were guns there. I was like, well, yeah, the police had them.
Yeah.
Well, some people in the crowd had them. I said, why didn't you use them? Well,
yeah.
please,
yeah.
just stop.
You got to frame it in a certain light to meet the narrative, like everything else.
Yeah. So this is a war, even though Congress has not declared war. I mean, we still call the Vietnam War a war. It was not a war. It was a police action.
Yeah.
We never declared war on Vietnam or Korea. So the last time we declared war was World War II. I think, unless I'm missing a small conflict somewhere, but that's the major one.
Yeah.
Declaration of war. But Congress gave the president a lot of this power in the 1970s to do this stuff, and now they want to complain about, oh, he can't do this. Well, Obama did it. Biden did it. Bush did it.
Oh, yeah, they've all done it. Well, so, where do you think we end up at the end of this?
I think this is my opinion. I think the Pakistani negotiations today will not prove a lot out. I don't think it'll prove a lot out. I don't think anybody's running Iran. I think there's too many factions fighting each other. While there's probably some there that want peace and want to get on back to life, you got some who believe in the 12th Amman. But I even asked. I got a Muslim in my class, and I asked him about it. He didn't know what 12th Amman was. And he was trying to convert me to Islam as he was talking to me. I'm thinking, well, dude, you don't even know your religion. He's probably 20 years old. He's been spoon fed everything from his parents and all. I mean, it's like
Right.
Christians. Christians are the same way. 20-year-olds get up and they can recite scripture and they can tell you all their points, but they really don't understand Christianity. And that's
Right.
one reason we're in the place that we're at, because there's so many, and even my age, don't understand Christianity. They think it's about God pleasing them, and it's so much bigger. God has, I mean, all this going on to me. We could sit here for another hour, and I could talk about prophecy and how I think this fits into prophecy. But all this stuff's got to happen. The Middle East is never. We keep talking about peace in the Middle East. If we get peace in the Middle East, then I think Jesus is almost back, because in prophecy it said that all these wars will come to an end for a little while, but then it's going to get so much worse from that.
Right.
But all this stuff going on is just everybody's trying to frame it. Everybody's trying to make it look right. So this Pakistani, I don't think anything will come out of that. I think it'll be pushed down the line some more, and I think we'll open up attacks again at some point. But I think now it's not about the nuclear program. I think we have devastated the nuclear program more than what we did back last year. And everybody's saying, why do we go in if we did that? Well, that was just one spot. We collapsed their lab. Doesn't mean they stopped trying to get the nuclear weapon. You don't need that one lab to continue to work.
Right.
So, and even going back to that, all these naysayers like, well, they don't have any weapons. They can't do anything, or can't do that. And then they send not an intercontinental, but a long distance rocket to that base off India, England's base off of England. And if you do the geographical circle around the pinpoint, that same rocket could have gotten to Britain. And so if they had a nuclear warhead on top of that, they could nuke anywhere in Europe.
Yeah.
So, okay, the U.S., they still were not an imminent threat nuclearly, even if they had a nuclear warhead to the United States. So we wait they are.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Uh,
And when you got a regime that sticks up every day in speeches and says, death to America, they must fall. And then you're just like, oh, they didn't mean anything by it.
right.
I don't.
Yeah, it's wild how people justify it. I don't understand. It's like everybody just has to be against something. Like nobody can just come to a middle ground on anything. Everybody just has to be against something and be a little warrior for their cause, and and then the news spins everything, and that's why we're getting all this Israel hate. And I'm like reading it, and I'm like, well, am I missing something? Are they really like doing all this evil stuff? Am I like looking at it wrong? Then you start to question, because you're like, if everybody says it, it's got to be true, right? And it's like, well, no, not necessarily, but they're sure doing a good job of spinning it. I'll give them that.
They are.
They had me questioning things,
and it's pulling more people in. Some of the people come up to me now and say something about it. I'm just like, really? You're smarter than this.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Again, it doesn't mean that you have to like everything Israel's doing. Doesn't mean you got to be a supporter of the government, but at the same time, you can't. Come on, get a life.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, I mean, do you think we'll reach a negotiation anytime soon where this will die down, where we get back to some type of normal? I mean, I know there will always be unrest over there, but do you think we reach some type of, at least delay in conflict? Or
I don't think Trump will stay in there very long. He'll figure out some way to get out, because he's just not that kind of person. He doesn't want these wars to go on. He said that. Yeah. And in his head, he's stopping a 47 war that's been going on since the regime took over there. I mean, they've been after us since the 1970s, but we just kind of ignore it because the press doesn't talk about it anymore.
Right.
I mean, the people they hurt and kill and things they do are just evil. You talk about Israel being evil. What about what Iran does to its own people? Again, you see, homosexuals for Iran. I mean, they literally, this video, you can go find video of them throwing people off tops of buildings they suspect of being homosexual.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane.
And the women are property over there.
Yeah.
But I've heard people try to explain it away, and it's just it just shows me the lack of knowledge.
Yeah, or
And
just people just don't do their research and just they just listen to the headlines and they just form their opinions without any type of research, and then just run with it.
yeah, and we live in such a bubble in the United States.
Oh,
We
we
don't
do.
understand how the world actually works.
No, because we have it so much better than so many parts of the world, and we don't really take it for granted. So we're just like so we can just sit on our little high horses and behind our little causes and virtue signal and feel good about ourselves and
Yeah.
without having to do any research or have any repercussions or because the war hasn't hit us directly yet. If something does, people wake up and start doing a little research. Well, how did this happen?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just every time we do one of these, I feel like we just keep going down I feel like I'm just on like a plane that's crashing, and I just keep seeing the nose dive a little bit more every time towards the ground, and we're losing altitude, brother. I don't know.
Well, the best thing to do is not to live in the news reports.
Oh, for sure.
Live your life, do what God has for you to do, and
Control what you can control and not worry about the rest of it.
Yeah, I know people my age who watch, especially those that watch Fox News and CNN News. They're just so pessimistic about everything. And don't get me wrong, I'm a pessimist at heart too. But can't do anything about it. You just live your life. So don't worry about it.
Right.
Deal with what comes your way. Prepare all you can, but then at the end of the day, live your life.
Yep. I'm with you there. So do you think you think Trump will find a way out of here soon to wrap this up? I mean,
the Straits of Hormuz is the only thing I'm worried about. That can keep us in long term.
Yeah. Let's say we do end up pulling out of there and we get something negotiated. You don't think there's going to be, now that since we take the pressure off of them, there's not going to be, you don't think there'd be any immediate other retaliatory strikes from them, like from some of the sleeper cells in the country or anything like that, once we've kind of like calmed down and they're not hitting them?
No, I think we still have to worry about what we've been worrying about for 10 years, 15 years. I mean, we've been worried about these sales forever. And if you do your research, you can see how many of these sales have been stopped. Even under Biden, I mean, there was still part of the FBI that was not, chasing Catholic parents. I mean, which is a whole nother podcast for us. This whole idea that Trump is weaponizing the government against his people. Give me a freaking break.
Yeah.
If you go back and just look underneath the headlines, what the Biden DOJ did to good American people, same thing's going on in Europe right now. I mean, UK is literally beating down its people in favor of immigrants. I mean, that's what these laws. I mean, that I saw another guy arrested the other day for a Facebook post. Took him to jail in cuffs. Had 4 officers there for like a 76-year-old man to take him to jail in cuffs because of something he posted on Facebook. But yet they have rape gangs going around cities over there. I mean, that stuff just blows my mind.
And is this all of Europe that are passing these laws? Is this kind of across the board over there?
I haven't seen it as bad in other countries, but other countries, a lot of them have been taken over before now. I think UK is kind of the last one.
Yeah.
Germany was having rape gangs as early as it was 2014 or 15.
Yeah.
France has had no-go zones at least for 15 years, where you had the Muslim community policing itself, and cops will not even go into parts of Paris because of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, you don't hear this stuff. You don't hear this news, and somebody will say, "Oh, you're just making that up." Well, good. No, okay. Well, go look for yourself. Go do your own research. It's not hard.
Yeah.
You have to be careful though, because there are some sites that take it to extremes, but you got sites that don't talk about it at all.
Right.
So, but going back to Trump, I think he gets us out of there, but I don't think the world's going to drastically change, except now we don't have to worry about them with a nuclear weapon.
For now.
For now. I mean, I don't think it's going to stop them trying to do it. But, I mean, and this is what blows my mind. If you don't understand the religious war that is going on, it's been going on for 1,000 years. If the wrong people, and again, this is not all Muslim people, Islamists, if you want to call them that that some of them would love to get their hand on a bomb because, I mean, they literally say the world has to burn. Allah says the world has to burn. What better way to burn the world than a nuclear explosion?
Yeah.
I mean, some chaotic, deranged psycho gets a hold of a nuclear weapon in that area, and he's going to burn the world because he thinks he's fulfilling their holy book.
Right.
And we look at them like, oh, that's just crazy. Nobody loved it. Excuse me? Go back in history.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. Oh man. Well, any positive outlook on this?
Oh, I have a positive outlook at everything. I mean, come on. I know I don't sound that way, but like I said, just live your life. I mean, I think we get out. It's not going to change the world drastically. I think it's going to make us safer for a while. But 2028 is around the corner, so that's not going to last very long.
Right.
I'm sure we'll talk about that in the future. But I don't think it's going to be something we just stay over there forever.
Right. Right. Yeah.
20 years like we did in Iraq. No, it's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully not. I would hate that.
I think the CIA and Bush and all of them, when they invaded Iraq, their eyes were on Iran. You basically have them on both sides at that point, Afghanistan and Iraq. And literally, probably if we just went on in then and turned the regime over, we might be better off.
Yeah.
And I guess if Trump had been in then, maybe we'd see a lot different outcome. Of course, Trump wouldn't have done what Bush did with Iraq. He just went in there and wiped out the resistance and then left them.
Yeah.
It's not nation build. We don't need to be nation building.
Yeah. That's so silly.
So positive outlook. I mean, end of the day, you just got to live with what's in front of you. I mean, I think that's where your faith comes in.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, yeah, I'm hoping everything comes to some type of resolve. I know it'll never be, totally peaceful, but I would like to see some type of quick resolution. And so, I mean, because it's affecting everything. I know people are out of gas prices are scaring people, and just the fact of being in war, people just it sets people off. It affects my business, the housing market. It affects inflation, and it affects everything. So it's it trickles down to a ton of different markets. So I'd just like to see it some type of resolution so we can get back to a little bit of a normal, and maybe just kind of kick the can down the road like we do with every other every other war or whatever conflict that we're in. But yeah, it's a wild time right now, man. And just I try to not look at the news too much. I know there's so much to talk about on these that we could go over. Every hour there's something crazy happening.
Yeah.
So it's a wild world we're in.
Yeah, everybody's complaining about the gas prices, and I get it, but
I'm not.
It's not higher than what it was under Biden yet.
Are you looking to buy a home in North or South Carolina? You need to reach out to Wave Beach Realty today. We are a family-owned company with over 10 years of experience in North and South Carolina and operate along the Grand Strand. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872.
Mortgage payment, insurance payments, credit card payments, they can be very overwhelming. Are you ready to take the time to get things under control? Then reach out to me at Clark Financial Coaching to see if we can get you started with a budget and then a vision for the future. Write me at coachwesc@gmail.com. That's coachwesc@gmail.com.
At least last time I looked, see, the highest we had was average of 450, 470 in 2022.
Yeah.
So, in fact, even with it, well, we're popped up now to 395. So we're getting there, but I didn't hear this. Well, I mean, I heard us complaining under Biden.
Yeah.
And I'm complaining now, but I didn't hear Democrats complaining under Biden, but they're complaining now.
Right.
So and I think that's one of the biggest problem with our political system. I think the Republicans are still trying to play by the game that the game's supposed to be played by. You have differing opinions, you come to compromises, you work things out, you talk it through. And I think at this point, there's so many people who want to just devastate the system that I don't think you can use the system like you used to.
Yeah, it's a dirty game, and you have to adapt, and I think it's being played a different way now. And people, I think on the right don't play it quite the same way, and I think they need to adapt, because it doesn't seem to be working playing it the right way. The compromise way doesn't seem to be the way the other side wants to play. So you kind of have to adapt to what they're doing and play by the rules and level the playing field a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. All right, man. Well, I guess we've been dampered again for this week. So let's go ahead and say goodbye here, and we'll catch y'all next time.
We will see you on the next one, guys. Stay positive. It's a beautiful day.
There you go. 90 degrees up here today.
Oh, nice. It's nice out here too. It's like 80 something. 72 right now, actually.
We're in the 70s right now too, but I think our high today is supposed to be 90.
Oh,
80,
nice.
88, 89.
It's hot today, yeah.
Need to be on the boat. Time to come down the coast.
That'd be a great boat day.
All right, we'll see y'all next time.
All right, guys.
Looking to buy a property in North or South Carolina and need financing assistance? Give Motto Mortgage Coastal Pros a call today. We specialize in residential loans in both North and South Carolina and can meet all your residential home loan needs. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872. Thanks for listening to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist and Wes the Economist. Don't forget to send us your topics and give us feedback at dollarscentsgs@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram and X at dollarscentsgs. You can follow us on Facebook at Dollars and Cents. Listen to us on the podcast format at Dollars and Cents Podcast. And you can also find us on YouTube at the Dollars and Cents Podcast.